So here are some more examples. First, check to make sure the radicals are the same. They're both square roots, so that's okay. And maybe it's easier to do the multiplication. I was trying to show you maybe what I think is a simpler way, but okay, so multiplying the 6 times the 8, we'll do that in green, 6 times 8, and then we're going to have the square root of, I try to make this easier for you to see, the square root of, and you're going to have 6 times the 30, and then you're also going to have the x squared times the x to the 4th. So that's kind of what it looks like in pieces. That's what gets multiplied together. You've got the numbers in front of the radical getting multiplied. Then inside the radical, you've got the coefficients, the 6 times the 30, and then you've got the variables. Okay, so a little problem, but lots of pieces. 6 times 8 is 48. We're not going to do anything with that 48 right now. It just sits out there. And then this is what I was talking about. If you want to multiply 6 times 30 and make it 180, that's fine. And then you'd have x to the 6th power. Remember, when you have x squared times x to the 4th, you add that. 2 plus 4. So x to the 2 plus 4. Okay. Now we got to start simplifying. So 180, well, it's 9 times 20. That's not going to be big enough. I'm going to want, like, see, this is where it gets tricky for me to do. So you can do it a couple ways. You could take the 180. It is 9 times 20, right? You see 20 breaks down. 4 times 5. So I can take the square root of 9. I can take the square root of 4. Or I could think of 9 times 4 as 36 times 5 and take the square root of 36. So, or you could break it all down into its primes and circle things up. I'm not sure exactly how you want to think of it. So there's my 48. I'm taking out a times 6. Okay. And then what's going to be left in the radical is the 5. Okay. So from that part right there, that's what happened to the 36. It came out, and then the 5 stayed in. All right, I left a little space so I can put the variables in. Okay, x to the 6th. Well, you know what? 2 goes into 6 evenly, so that's going to be an x cubed out there. All right, so now I have to do a little multiplying, make it look nice. What's 48 times 6? 8, carry the 4, 288. I hope that's right. X cubed, and then it's square root times 5. And there weren't any x's left over, so they all came out. All right, here's another one. Well, are they the same index? Yes, they're both 4th roots. And then I've got a negative times a negative. That's going to give me a positive 4 on the outside. And then I have the 4th root. Okay, and what do I have? I'm going to have a 12 times 8. And then I'm going to have a y cubed times a y cubed. Now the fact that they're both y cubes, remember we're not adding or subtracting here, we're multiplying. So it's still going to be y cubed times y cubed. All right, how do we want to deal with the 12 times 8? Well, what's 12 times 8? I don't know. 96. Okay, I don't know what goes into 96. 6 does, I think. 6 goes into 96 once. 16 times. Oh, I got lucky. Because I know the square root is 16, right? Now, if you're worried about that 6, it's just a 2 times 3, so you're not going to get any more pairs out of it. Okay. So, my 4 on the outside, that's that one. Then I have, from this 16, it's going to get me another 4 on the outside. And I'll leave a little space. 4th root. And now what didn't come out? The 6 didn't come out. So that 6 is going to be right there. You'd have to multiply the 2 times 3 back together. All right. Now, what about the y to the 3rd power? Well, what is y to the 3rd times y to what is y to the 3rd times y to the 3rd? Well, that's going to be y y to the 6th. So I'm trying to get a group of 4 out, right? So that's y to the 4th times y squared. This one I'm going to get out. So there's a y. And then these guys are going to stay in. That's the y squared. Okay, put it all together now. 16y times the 4th root of 6y squared. So you have to take it one piece at a time. Don't try to rush through it.